Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee, Books, and Rain. I'm Rachel with a big thing of water today because I think I drank an entire pot of coffee earlier, then went to Barnes & Noble and got more coffee, so I figured I better hydrate just a little bit. We have books, and we did have rain for like 5 whole minutes. I swear my phone was blowing up about like thunderstorm rolling through your area. And it lasted like 5 minutes, and now it's sunshiny again. So who knows what we're dealing with today. But we have a mysterious guest joining us today. As I was recording that brief intro, he decided that he wanted to come hang out. So he is going to join us as he has miraculously appeared. But today we are talking about a book called Strange New World by Vivian Shaw. Now, it is my bad for not having read the other 3 books in this series. Honestly, they're probably fantastic because this one was so good. And it does seem as though this is the last book in the series that is, I guess, planned or expected or what have you. But it does say in the summary it is a conclusion. And when I read it, it felt like we were wrapping things up. But let's dive into the summary and we'll go from there. In this witty conclusion to a delightful fantasy series finds Greta Helsing, doctor to the undead, facing the latest and strangest challenge of her career, accompanying an anxious angel and a sullen demon on a road trip across America. After narrowly avoiding the end of the world, the leaders of heaven and hell are struggling to collaborate according to the terms of their new treaty, especially since angels and demons are quite literally allergic to each other. Seeking a solution, the powers that be decide to see if the allergy persists on Earth by sending an angel and a demon on a research trip, first to New York City. And what better chaperone than Greta Helsing, not Von Helsing, but Greta Helsing, who happens to owe hell a few favors of her own. But there's unrest in New York's monster underworld, and Greta and her team are about to land in the middle of it. Something is off in heaven and on Earth, and Greta will have to figure out just what it is if she hopes to protect those she loves most. Now, it was first published May 20th of 2025, so I'm a few days behind, but I had quite a few books due on or around the 20th. It is approximately 399 pages. It says in Kindle edition. However, I do think my e-reader edition was somewhere closer to 287. And that's just, again, my font sizing and the NetGalley app that I used. I did not have the audio version, although I do think that would have been a really great way to listen to it and really get into the story. Sometimes I feel like I connect with some of the characters better when I'm listening to it. So let us dive into this summary. So it seems as though, and again, I apologize for not having read the other ones in this series. I do plan on picking them up so I can continue exploring this world, and I do think it will better help me understand how we got here by going through those. So that is my bad. When I picked it up, I was like, vampire, supernatural, humor, yes please. And plus, our main character is Greta. It is Von Helsing. Someone else actually says, Dr. Greta Von Helsing. And I'm like, I thought so. But if anybody knows, in the supernatural world and realm of literature and such, I do not know if Von Helsing was a real person, but we do know there's a movie, I think, with Hugh Jackman called Von Helsing, which, if I remember correctly, he's like a hunter of the supernatural. And, well, Greta Von Helsing is actually a bit more of a doctor of the supernatural. She tends to, and at least we learn through this book, she specializes in, one, helping zombies look not so zombified. So she's got a way of embalming that also helps imbue a bit of color. And thus they have more of a pinky peachy rosy tone rather than the undead Grey. And Harlack is her demon transport, who tends to be able to, it seems like it's teleport her. He goes, like, pops out of one place and pops her back home. Well, he seems to be running late, and so she has to figure out another way to get home at that particular point. And she's not really worried at this particular time, but this is kind of the opening of the story. We also learn that there is an angel who has been shot with a blow dart, and it seems as though Harlack, something has happened to him. So we have to kind of work on figuring things out. He shows up, and he's kind of bloody a little bit. If I remember correctly, I think he got cut or stabbed, something, but a little bit more significant than his angel counterpart. Well, sorry, my other puppy's on the bed. He's like digging a nest, so I'm just snorting at him because he's not making much of a dent, but he thinks he's doing something. So the demon does fall ill pretty significantly, to the point that he really has to go to demon hospital. Well, Haliel, who is his kind of angel counterpart, the blow dart doesn't do much to him. It seems as though it's barely benign. He takes it out. At first, it's like painful, but he takes it out and he takes it to Raphael. And he's like, hey, earlier today I was shot with this. Just thought you might want to know. So now there's this question going on around, is someone targeting angels and or demons? Are they trying to take them out? Are they trying to figure out a way to make them sick? What is going on? One of my kind of thoughts personally, because this is my first foray into this world, was I thought for a good first 40% of the book, we didn't really focus on Helsing at all, but rather the accords between the angels and the demons. We really get a lot of view between these two sides of the house. And Greta, on the other hand, gets a phone call and they say, hey, Greta, we're going to do an experiment. We would love if you would join us. And this particular experiment, because they're trying to do the accords, they're trying to get along with each other, have some sort of kind of common ground to work from. And, well, the theory is that angels are allergic to going to hell. Demons, on the other hand, are also allergic to going to heaven. They literally go into some sort of level of anaphylaxis. So, the thought process is that, well, maybe we can find common ground on Earth. So, before sending anybody down for long periods of time or anything like that, they decide that they're going to try to do it, like, again, do this road trip experiment to see, okay, well, does going to New York, is there something about New York that would or wouldn't work for an angel or a demon? They're going to send Greta with a couple of what would be angelic versions of EpiPens, which apparently will have holy water in them. And then for demons, they're going to have another lake, another particular type of lake water in them in order to stave off any sort of allergic reaction. So all of it's very, very funny. In my personal thoughts, I was laughing quite a bit during several moments. But we also learn that, again, because I haven't read the other books and I really need to, because I probably would learn more about this relationship, but Greta has a husband named Varney, who, to my knowledge, sounds like possibly a vampire. Not sure. Think he is, though. And we do also learn about some other vampires as well. So there are a lot of supernatural beings going along. This is urban fantasy. This is definitely playful, fun, witty. The story, the book, is really well written. I do just wish, if we're going to call it like a Greta von Helsing book or Greta Helsing number 4, that maybe in the first 40% of the book, we mention her more than 3 times. That's my personal thought. Now, I loved diving into the backstory a bit of the angels and the demons and how they're trying to collaborate on various things. We do learn that there's an angel who apparently, through one way or another, has inhaled some sort of level of sapphire dust. I don't know. Apparently, it was a sweeping thing that swept it down. The angel breathed it in, and now he's having his lungs fill up with fluid. So, Dr. Faust, who seems to be maybe the doctor to the demons, and we have Raphael, who seems to be more or less like a doctor to the angels. They're having to work together in various ways, and the demons do send along like this almost care package of pulmonary care for helping this angel breathe better. And it does seem as though they didn't sabotage it. They sent it in good faith, and the angel responds positively to it. So when it comes back to this question of who could be targeting the angels or the demons, it doesn't seem that either side really has motive. So that's the question of like, well, okay, if it's not them or us, then who's doing it? So that's also something that's going along as we're taking this road trip across America. And I just thought it was hilarious because, like, why in the world are we road tripping across America when we could really like go anywhere? I don't know if other parts of the world are more or less saved by, or like, maybe Paris belongs to the angels, or I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't really know if like various parts of Earth have been claimed by upstairs or down, but it is just funny that they decide to road trip in the United States. So they do try to hatch the scheme to, like, that's not really part of the road trip, but I do think it's a concern because what if someone does it again? What if someone targets an angel or a demon and they become ill with, with whatever's being shot at these entities? It is a really fun book. I had such a good time learning about these characters, and I can certainly see why their ratings are as high as they are, because it was like the thing says, it's a delightful fantasy series. I kind of am a little disappointed in myself for having read the conclusion before reading the others in this series, but now it's really just made me curious as to how we got here and what were the relations like before we got to this level of the Accords? Because we can tell that the Accords are incredibly new. They're still trying to figure things out and hammer out semantics and things of that nature. So we are working with all of these new things going on. Now, one person, and I'm just kind of seeing there, Lainey Brown, she said, like, she has a few questions still. Ones that she's not going to post because she doesn't want to spoil anything, which is totally fair. I have a lot of questions which I think would be answered if I actually read the series. But she said that she hopes that they'll get another book because of all the new characters that popped up. See, I don't know who's new and who's just who's revisiting from the previous books. So that's a bit curious. But if you like urban fantasy, if you like vampires, demons, angels, in a more of a sassy, fun setting, this could be something to pick up. Now, I will say, probably should read the other ones first. I understood what was going on and the plot behind this particular story, but I did myself a disservice by not reading the other books, and I do regret that prior to, or now that I have read this one and didn't pick up the other ones. So I highly recommend reading them in order to understand how we get here from where we came from. Now, little Leo, I don't know what he thinks, because while I was finishing this book up, he did a snooze. And right now he is very concerned about whatever is going on. So I don't know what he thinks about things, but I should just start reading these books aloud and see if they just fall straight to sleep and they can be the determining factor. But I do want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanking you for liking and subscribing. If you haven't, then I hope you will. And with all of that being said, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I'll see you on the next page. Have a great one.